للمعارضة على الجرائم التي حصلت. ما رأيكم فيها؟
I included in my statement the official position of my government. However, I would like to add the following. As a right to reply to some delegates who looked at the glass of water in its empty half. For instance, the German ambassador referred to what's going on in some parts of my country by saying that he regrets what he called crimes, and they are indeed crimes. But his own government is partly participating in these crimes by supporting the armed groups, by preventing the Syrian, the opposition from engaging in the national inclusive dialogue, by inciting to violence, by giving the impression to these armed groups that they are under international protection so that they could go ahead with their crimes perpetrated against the civilians and the military. I would like to remind my colleague, the German ambassador, of the very indicative and informative poem of Gunther, the German poet Günter Grass, in which he condemned his own government for its policy of providing Israel with submarines capable of carrying on nuclear weapons. I wonder if the German conscience could bear the responsibility of another Holocaust, but this time against the Arabs, after perpetrating the first Holocaust, which was addressed against Jews and non-Jews. So it seems that the German ambassador did not get the lesson from history, and his government is still insisting on reiterating the same mistakes. Ambassador of Qatar was shedding the crocodile's tears on what's going on in Syria. I should remind him also that his own government and the policies of his government and Al Jazeera channel are an integral part of the suffering of segments of the Syrian population, civilians as well as military. The Qatari policies of interfering in the domestic Syrian affairs is one of the main reasons for the bloodshed taking place in some parts of my country. Al Jazeera has transformed itself into a theater of operation, giving directives and instructions to some armed groups in Syria to perpetrate crimes. Dozens of Al Jazeera's correspondents and journalists left the channel, and they made comments, official comments and statements saying that they left Al Jazeera because it's a biased, ungenuine and non-objective channel. I said in my statement on behalf of my government that the Syrian government is fully committed to supporting the mission of Kofi Annan in its entirety. But how can the Syrian government fulfill its commitment fully if the armed groups in the opposition are still refusing to engage in the national inclusive dialogue and are still engaging themselves in the violence that is severing the country? A couple days ago, a new Salafist group, Wahhabi, was formed, military one, was formed in Istanbul, calling for an armed action by the opposition. And they are receiving weapons, they are receiving harbors, they are receiving financial supplies, they are receiving media coverage from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and some other nations. So here there is a misreading of the map, ladies and gentlemen. Syria needs assistance based on good faith and good intentions. Mr. Kofi Annan needs also assistance to fulfill his plan. The 6-point plan of Mr. Kofi Annan calls for everybody, all the parties, to cease violence and to engage, peacefully speaking, in the national political dialogue. The Syrian government did its best, and the Syrian government is still ready to engage in implementing fully the plan of Mr. Kofi Annan. But we need the other parties, those that Kofi Annan plan indicated, to engage also in respecting fully the plan of Mr. Kofi Annan. Those who took the floor in today's session of the General Assembly, their countries are an integral part of the crisis in Syria. I'm saying this because it's not a secret anymore for anybody that at least some of those who took the floor today, they are behind what's going on in my country. Today is the 45th anniversary of the Israeli aggression on the Arab countries in 1967, June 5th, 1967, which resulted in the occupation of the Syrian Golan, the Egyptian Sinai, West Bank and Gaza. And the Secretary General of the Arab League did not find one sentence to speak about this dramatic anniversary. He came to New York to mobilize the Security Council against Syria, to call for taking military action against Syria, and we are founding member of the Arab League. And by doing so, the Secretary General of the Arab League is violating the Arab Convention of Mutual Defense or Common Defense. It's a pity to see the Secretary General of the Arab League saying what he said and acting on behalf of the Israelis' interests. So I dedicate what the Israeli delegate said to the Secretary General of the Arab League, to the Arab group in New York, as well as to the public Arab opinion all over the Arab countries, and to the Palestinian public opinion. Thank you very much.